Okay, so a couple of months ago, I uploaded a setup guide, almost like a showcase on RVM, that's Retro Virtual Machine. And this is a front-end 8-bit system for PC. Originally, it was on Mac, and then the developers went on to publish this for Windows PC. And by my amazement, it really was a thing of beauty. So, like I say, I did this a couple of months ago, and since Retro Virtual Machine has a couple of new updates. So today, and seeming I've got more subscribers at this point, I'm going to show you what this is, and if you're into 8-bit systems such as the Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum, MSX, and even Sega Master System, you're going to absolutely love this. So check this one out. Okay, first things first, if you're new to my channel and you like what you see today, make sure to hit notifications, subscribe and like. It helps my channel out a great deal, and you also get retro emulation content almost every day, and you'll get pop-ups come up whenever I publish them on my channel, just Jamie. So let's take a look at the website itself. This is Retro Virtual Machine, and we're going to download this, so you're going to find a lot of information here. It even has code on the website so you can embed things into your websites via HTML, that type of thing. And what we're going to do is just go to download, and as we can see, we got Mac OS here, but I've obviously got Windows and I'm running a 64-bit processor. So if you're running Linux, you can download this for Linux too, so it's very cool that way. Anyways, I'm going to download this for Windows times 64. I'm running a 64-bit processor, and we're going to just wait patiently for this one to download. And as we can see, we've now got this, and it downloads into a zip file. So let's just open up the zip file, and inside we have the .exe, the executable file. If we just drag this onto the desktop for now, and here we go. So what we're going to do is just double left click on the shortcut just there, the exe. And if you get Windows protected your PC, just go to more info and run anyway. It's a safe, trusted file. And here we go, this is the main user interface. Got a nice little picture of someone from Barbarian, I think there. And if we go up to the three horizontal lines at the top, this is going to open up the menu. And from here, we can create machine. So I'm going to left click on create machine. And here's what Retro Virtual Machine currently supports. So like I say, we got Amstrad CPC, MSX, Sega, ColecoVision and ZX Spectrum. For this, I'm going to just go to Amstrad CPC, left click on that one, and then go to next. And we got a range here of different Amstrad CPC models. So I'm planning on loading a disk image, and of course the 6128 Amstrad model had the built-in disk drive. So I'm going to select this one and press on next again. We also got a very nice picture there of the 6128, and let's see, the 664. Very rare system, this one. Anyways, 6128, and we're going to press next. And we've got a host here of different languages. So I'm going to go with the top one. I'm presuming this is in English. And I'm going to go to create. So I'm then going to go down to file name, and I'm going to just call this file 6128. And I'm going to go to save, and here we go. We've now got the Amstrad CPC 6128, and if I just double left click on this one, we get the Retro Virtual Machine screen come up, and this is the best part of this. Just love this. So here we go, this is the screen, and as you can see, this looks awesome. We can maximize this, make it a little bit bigger, and we can minimize it, and we can make this full screen too, just like this. And what I'm going to do is actually load up a disk. So for this, what I'm going to do is head over to one of my favorite homebrew modern games for older systems website, which is itch.io. And this is itch.io. I totally recommend it if you're into modern CPC games, Commodore 64 games, MSX games or whatever. If I just type into search for games or creators at the top, if I type in Amstrad CPC, there's many games here which are fairly new. Some of these are free, some of them aren't. So let's just pick out one of these games. I'm going to go for this one here. This looks like it could be Spanish. So no idea what this game is, but we're going to go to the bottom and we got a selection here to download. So I'm going to download the disk image of this. And here's our disk image. As we see, this is just downloaded into another zip. And my disk image is in here. These are .dsk's, which are quite common for Amstrad games. If I just quickly drag this onto my desktop, just so I know where it is for now. And to load this, as we can see at the top, we got a cassette image and a disk image. If I go onto the disk image, and I'm just going to full screen this to make things look better, we got two drives there. Of course, this is the built-in drive in the 6128, and we've also got an external drive. Okay, so to load this up, what we're going to do is just press on this button here, and I'm going to go to Insert, and my game is on my desktop, which I've just downloaded from itch.io. If I just left click on that, open. I'm then going to go up to the power button to turn the monitor on, and here we go. So for Amstrad games, to load these, I'm going to type in cat. So this is the contents of that disk, and to run Amstrad CPC games, what I'm going to do next is just type in run, disk, and press enter. And here we go, we're now in. And if we just toggle around here, we can get different displays come up. So I've got my Stadia controller connected to this, and all I've done is just gone to joystick, and some of these games might be a little bit more foreign if you don't speak, say, Spanish or Italian. So some of this on Amstrad games, for example, we might have to use your initiative. So for example, to redefine my controller, I press number 2, and I'm presuming these are asking for my directional buttons and fire button on my Stadia controller. It's right at the top here, there's a little TV screen. If we just left click on that, we can actually change how this screen looks. So under presets, it's currently put on the CRT curved. If we just left click on this, we can change this to look how we want it. And there's plenty of presets on there to mess around with, even black and white. And obviously Amstrad came with a green and black monochrome. So there we go, really awesome stuff. Even got scan lines and that really authentic wave going through. So background blur, let's put this back onto how it originally was, which I believe was CRT curved. We can add scan lines to this. As you can see, scan lines are now appearing, and also increase the mask of this. Noise, so you know, the options here are endless. It really is a thing of beauty. Like I say, I love this front end. It's just superb, and it seriously needs to be put out there into the wilderness a little bit more for 8-bit fans like myself. So we got Amstrad CPC discs running up, but one of the nice nostalgic things about Retro Virtual Machine is the authenticity of loading in cassette images. So let's go back to itch.io. And this time, I'm going to download a tape image of a game. Let's download Robbie Strikes Back. So let's just download this one. And no thanks, if you want to donate some money to the author of this game, go ahead. We're going to download this game. And here we go. Robbie. And my cassette image of this one is the .cdt. So just drag that onto my desktop, and we're going to open up a new system. If we go back up here and we go to create machine, Amstrad CPC, next. And this time I'm going to go with the 464 model. Obviously the 464 model has got the built-in cassette drive. I'm going to go to next, and top one again for English, and go to create. And I'm going to call this one 464. Save. And here's my 464 in English. Open this up, and this time I'm going to go to the tape icon, left click on that one, and what I'm going to do then is go to eject, and here's my cassette image, double left click. We can now see Robbie is inserted, even with the label saying Robbie, just awesome stuff. And of course we got to turn the monitor on. And let's just maximize this. And to run cassette images, or cassettes in general, on Amstrad CPC, we just need to type in run, followed by quote, and then press enter. And then it says press play, then any key. So we're going to go down to the tape deck, press play, and press any key, so H. Okay, so next up I'm going to show you how to run ZX Spectrum games. So just to remind you that the RVM file extensions, that's your save files for the systems, or in my case the 6128 and 464 that I've just created. So I'm going to delete them for now. So let's open up Retro Virtual Machine again. And again, it's just going to be a case of going to those horizontal lines at the top and just go on to create machine again. For people out there who doesn't know much about ZX Spectrum, it's got quite a odd history. Clive Sinclair originally came up with the idea, and that was one thing. Then Sir Alan Sugar came along and took over the Sinclair brand. So that's where you start seeing Amstrad appear on the motherboards, I believe, that type of thing. So under your ZX Spectrum models, we got a few here. ZX Spectrum clones is likely going to be Russian and possibly Timex, the American version of it. We got the +2A and +3, which I'm pretty sure that's the Amstrad models. ZX Spectrum 128K and 48K. I'm going to select 128K for this, and of course this one's got the built-in tape drive, whereas the 48K model didn't have a built-in drive. This was the rubber keyboard, and later went on to revised better, in my opinion, better case. But anyways, I'm going to go on to 128K next, and top one's going to be in English again. And I'm going to go down to ZX Spectrum +2, because this one's got the built-in data recorder, and create. And again, just like Amstrad, I'm going to type in a name. So I'm going to just type in 128K and save. And here's our ZX Spectrum +2. And there's our save file for this system that we just created. Now I'm going to go back over to itch.io again and quickly grab a new game for this. Just type in something like ZX Spectrum. And we got a lot just here. So one of them I do recommend actually is Aliens Neo Plasma. This one's for the ZX Spectrum Next, which is a fairly new computer, which is very expensive too if you can get your hands on one. But this game is actually 428k too. So again, no thanks, just take me to downloads. And if I download the zip of this, here we go, Aliens Neo Plasma. And as we can see, we got the game for the ZX Spectrum Next and the 128k. So if I go in there, we got 3 files for this one, one in English, one in Spanish, and one in Russian. So obviously, I'm going to go for the English version, and this is a .tap, and .tap is cassette images for ZX Spectrum. So if I go up to the cassette logo again, just left click, and the same process, just power on the screen. So this is the main screen of the +2 model we would have seen back in the day, and we got our data corridor just here. So we're going to load up the game which we just downloaded, which is Aliens Neo Plasma. So first of all, I'm going to use my cursor keys on my keyboard and just select tape loader, and just follow what it says on the screen. So insert tape. So on the data corridor or data corridor on the +2, this one just here, this is your eject button. And I'm going to double left click on my alien game just here, and then it just says press play, and the play button on here is this one just here next to that red round record button. And then be prepared for a loud noise. And let me just remind you, you can use the volume up here to toggle down and up, just like my fiance, she hates the sound of this, but if you like the sound of this type of thing, then you like the sound of this type of thing, just like I do. So And lastly, I'm going to show you how to get MSX games running. So Retro Virtual Machine is only going to support MSX1 at this time. So we're going to just download the MSX1 game, and we got Spellbound here, which can be found on itch.io. And of course, Spellbound is a very famous classic ZX Spectrum game ported to the MSX a few weeks ago, I think. So we're going to download this. So on this particular platform, the MSX, we got a few different file types. We got the cassette image, known as .cas, disk image .dsk, and also a .rom. For quickness, I'm going to download to .rom. That should be an instant loader. So download this, and here's our Spellbound ROM. And just like Spectrum, Commodore 64, etc., tape images are always going to take the most time loading up your games. So we've got our game, open up Retro Virtual Machine again for the last time. And horizontal lines, create machine, and I'm going to choose MSX, and here's MSX. Now, like I say, at this point, Retro Virtual Machine only supports MSX1. And for those out there who's unsure about MSX, it was a little bit like Panasonic 3DO. There was different companies producing different cases, that type of thing, but essentially they're all the same computers inside. So press next, MSX1, and I'm presuming Retro Virtual Machine are going to update this at a later date to support MSX2 and 2+. So press next again, and we're going to use the only model, which is the famous MSX Toshiba model, which is just here. Press next. And we got different systems here. So PAL is going to be pretty much the British version, and the NTSC is going to be Japanese and North American. So in my case, I'm going to just go for the PAL model and create. And I'm going to call this MSX as its file name, save, and here we go. So just open this one up. So as we see, firmware for HX10 not available, so we need to check which files we need for its firmware. And you're going to see firmware for, if you just left click in there, the systems which need firmware is obviously the MSX1, and is asking for these files. So we need these files, and also if you want to play ColecoVision, then this is also going to need a file as well. And ZX Spectrum, as you can see in the previous segment of this video, it works fine, but if you want to do additional things with ZX Spectrum, then you'll need files for that too. So of course these files are only needed on the MSX if you're going to be using cassette or discs, but as it says here on the screen, this version of CBOS can only start cartridges, and in my case I've got a .rom file, which is a cartridge file. So I'm going to load up the cartridge, which is spellbound.rom that I've just downloaded from itch.io, and to load this there's a little cartridge icon at the top. Just click on that one, and if we go down to the cartridge slot just here on the MSX picture and go to insert and just select the spellbound.rom, double left click. So that's it for today's setup guide and almost showcase for a retro virtual machine. Like I said at the start of the video, I was just hoping that this system would get more exposure. I'm a big 8-bit fan myself, as a lot of you's probably aware at this point who subscribed. So anyways, like I say, hit notifications, subscribe and like if you like today's setup guide, and be sure to check out my other 8-bit retro emulation videos here on my channel, Just Jamie. And just to remind you, I put a lot of hours and effort into the videos I create, so no pressure, but if you like to, then I've got super thanks on my videos, and I've also got PayPal donations. Join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, but until next time, stay retro.